Hello, my name is Anne-Marie and today I'm going to be reading a book called Bricktropolis by Beckles.
Yeah.
The book is about a boy called Brandon that makes a town called Bricktropolis, and then his mom tells him to tidy it up, and then he gets angry. So now I am going to read you the story. Brandon adored building with all kinds of bricks, and he played with them every single day. He named his tiny town Bricktropolis. The more bricks he bought, the more, with his pocket money, the more his Bricktropolis grew. Brandon's mum was not happy when she realised that Brandon's hobby had taken over his room. She couldn't even get past his doorway. Brandon, clear up this mess before these bricks take over your room. But Mum! Brandon whined. No buts! And his mum, said his mum, except yours putting these bricks away. Now Brandon was mad. He didn't want to put his Bricktropolis away. His models had taken him ages. He kicked down all of the houses and they fell with a smash, bash, crash until there was nothing left but an enormous pile of bricks on the floor. That night, Brandon went to bed still angry with his mum. He had not tidied up the bricks like his mum had asked. When I wake up, I am going to build my Bricktropolis all over again. Brandon whispered to himself. I like my Bricktropolis. That I build in my room. And I'm going to build it even bigger tomorrow, he said as he drifted off to sleep. That was good, that one, didn't it? Wasn't it? That's so good. Late that night, as Brandon slept, something amazing happened. One of the brick men on his floor pushed aside the bricks that covered him and stood up very slowly. More and more big people dug their way out. They looked around them where their Bricktropolis once stood, but now there was only a mess. The brick people began to build a ladder that went from the floor all the way up to Brandon's bed. Once they had reached the top, they carefully surrounded Brandon as he slept. A little itch on Brandon's nose woke him up, but first thing he was too afraid to open his eye. He held his breath, opening one eye slowly. Suddenly, there was a tiny angry face close to Brandon's face. Excuse me, I am the president of Brick People, and I have to come and ask you why you have knocked down our Bricktropolis. Oh. Because I read another book that the author called Rachel Beckles wrote, called The Butterfly Princess, and I wanted to read this book. Too. My favourite part of the book was when Brandon smashed his Bricktropolis down, because I got to use different tones for smash, bash and crash. The bit that surprised me is when Brandon had a dream that Bricktropolis came to life. I learned aside. And aside means you like push aside, or like when you're taking your cover off and you push aside your cover. I think the author wanted us to learn from this story that we should always say sorry to our parents when we've done something wrong, and always tidy up our bedroom without a big huff and puff. It would be that Brandon should say sorry to his mum. Amazing!
You can build a buggy, drive a big tow truck. You can paint a jet ski yellow like a duck. And after all the tranny verse, there ain't no